something's been happening around the internet. People are talking about YouTube. Of course, we're on YouTube right now. But YouTube, the ratings in the numbers are spiking and spiking and spiking. So will YouTube eventually take over cable television? Can we talk about YouTube? I just want to talk about how YouTube has been changing and developing and growing and growing and growing. Of course, there's so many influencers out there we talk about here and there that have been just making a spectacle out of YouTube. Now, they tried to do YouTube Red back in the day with their own original content. That didn't do that well. They canceled. Of course, there was a topic of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai went to Netflix. It just did great. But influencers, like us, kind of, we're doing our thing here, are adding a lot of original content to YouTube that is actually bigger than cable TV. And I think this is the trend. It keeps growing. Now, if you look back at what's been happening the past year, 150 million people were watching TV. YouTube on their TV, 150 million people. That's a lot of people. And numbers keep going up. There's a lot of content out there. These content creators are just making stuff that's on par with production value of television. And when that happens, people go nuts of traditional television, I should say. There was actually one that had 4.5 million viewers, a spectacle about a magic trick that went down. And that, in fact, led to more people being like, this could be a good thing. And I think this is just going to be what it's going to be. YouTube is free, but it's also, it leads to money for people. There's ads and ad-based. People make great money off YouTube. And I think that this could be the future of TV. I mean, already streaming is the world we're going into. So why not YouTube be our big spectacle? Why not YouTube be the future of TV? Will cable boxes be stuck in your house? I don't think so. Rachel, what do you think? Is this going to happen more and more? Do you see YouTube taking over everybody through influencers when it didn't work before through their own production companies?
So YouTube does actually still have a subscription service. They have a subscription where they call it premium now instead of YouTube Red, which I think is a good remarketing because you had like porn sites that sounded a little similar to YouTube Red.
Ooh, good call.
So I think the rebranding was a good idea. I think they just went in too fast and too strong with the pay for content. But now you pay for, watching it without ads, which is fantastic. And because they've gotten crazy with the ads. We've been paying for YouTube Premium for a few years now. I can't go back to watching ads on YouTube. It's not going to happen. But I don't pay for Netflix. So that says something about it. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are in the same boat. This is not an advertisement for YouTube Premium, but other things it includes are watching. You can download videos to watch offline, and you can have access to their music service. So you do get a little bit more with it for what you're paying than just the content.
That's true.
As far as the quality of the content, most of the viewing in our house has shifted to YouTube. We will watch stuff on other streaming services every now and again, but primarily YouTube's running in our house. So it's definitely the future of content. And there's such a wide variety of content.
My Netflix.
All right, Peppy.
I already did Peppy. But you have such a variety of content. You can watch anything on YouTube from 3-hour documentaries about, anything. 3-hour documentary on anything to just some guy making food in his kitchen out of disgusting things. Like everyone can upload something to YouTube. So the variety of content you get on here is insane. There is something for everybody. So I've been watching YouTube since it came out, basically. I've been on YouTube a lot. And it just, every year I'm finding myself more and more on YouTube rather than traditional media.
Which, I mean, it is pretty phenomenal. It actually is, Rachel, like what they've done with it. And you're right. With the programming, how it has changed. Before it was like YouTube, Red, again, you're right, that's kind of like a porn thing. With that, it was trying to put big money into it. And now it's like more perks for the actual consumer. So the consumer gets to have, like, you're right, no ads. All of a sudden they can download content, which is amazing. When I've had premium too, which I used to have it, I don't have it now. It was awesome to be on the go, listen to your stuff, and have to worry about being Wi-Fi service.
Getting a bit greedy with how much it fucking costs, though.
Oh, I noticed that those prices have been going up.
For a family plan, it's like $25 a month. It is the most expensive subscription that we have.
Woo.
Fuck them.
They're gonna pay,
but
they gotta pay those.
Anything. So like we're just like, all right, YouTube, Google, you just fucking take my $20, I guess.
Take my money,
But it's all we watch.
Yeah.
Like I watch
YouTube like at work. Like I don't watch it necessarily, but I drive my delivery truck, right? Like she said, there's 2.5 hour, 3 hour content on there. So I put a YouTube video on while I'm driving at work. That's something for me to like listen to while I'm driving around. Like I don't always have to watch it. It's just on in the background while I'm driving. That's great. That's wonderful. And then I come home and I'm watching YouTube all night. I have stopped watching traditional content a long time ago. I found I very rarely, if ever, daily watched like any kind of traditional television show or whatever, because so much of television became binge watching. Like once they started the binge platform of content, I would be given a show. I would watch that show in like a course of a couple of days. So what am I left with on my day-to-day existence? YouTube. Because YouTube really fills that hole that your day-to-day television viewing did. Like those small form contents, those 15-minute things you want to throw on while you're cooking in the kitchen, and then you go back in your room, and then you throw like an hour long video on to watch while you're eating. And then when you're done with that video, then you can go in the bathroom and throw a 10-minute video on while you're doing something in there. And then you could throw something else on. Like the formatting is so perfect for exactly what you're looking for. I can find 5-minute videos. I can find 4-hour videos. I can find like, it's amazing how much there is. And like she said, like
so much content.
It starts to curate around you. And so the more you start to watch your kind of content, it starts to just algorithm around you. And then the next thing you know, your whole YouTube is so formatted to you that it's your own ecosystem, and you don't have to worry about necessarily thinking about what you're looking for, because it's so well situated to your thought process that it's really good, and like it knows what I want. And
this feels like such a meta conversation to be having.
I know it is, but I mean, like,
as we're on YouTube, you're right. As we're on here,
but I mean, the kind of content that I watch has shifted. Like, I would never have been someone who watched reality television, right? But I got super into lolcows, which is a whole thing in and of itself. Which I know that sounds weird, but lolcows are individual people who record themselves and people watch them on the internet, right? And so I've become fascinated by watching individuals, you know?
Well,
and so I spend my life...
Individuals. What you watch primarily is other people watching the individuals and then dissecting what's happening.
Right.
So it's a really interesting microcosm of information.
And I've
become... I dissect things myself, personally.
But I just, like, I find, like, when you guys come on here and you're like, you know, movie, it's a remake. And I'm like, pass. I would rather watch, 16 hours of Chris Chan content. That's way more interesting to me. I would rather watch 8 hours of these weird cooking videos that I watch. I would rather watch my car content that I watch. I would rather watch this highly curated content that I have formatted to myself. I would rather watch the serial killer content that I find for myself on here. It's so good. I would rather watch
informational content too. Like anytime we're like,
you can learn anything on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's like we do this thing. Let me look up a YouTube video.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that aspect of it. I look up stuff all the time. I've taught myself so much over YouTube.
Yeah,
it's informational, educational.
Fix cars,
TV shows.
We think about a show from our past too. I'm like, oh, remember that show that I used to watch when I was a kid? That really weird, obscure show. If it's not like on a streaming service somewhere, I can find it probably on YouTube. Hey, remember that really weird, obscure film? Oh, remember that weird Czechoslovakian animated film that you saw one time? You'll probably find it on YouTube. Like, and I'm not kidding. Like, you'll find the most obscure, weird.
Yeah, but you know what else you find on YouTube? A bunch of bullshit that's not fucking real or true, or like fucking you look for a trailer and it's fucking fake, or you're trying to research something and it's not fucking real. And also, like, shows are curated for a specific thing. You know what I mean? Like, so this show is curated for a specific genre, which is entertainment news. And it focuses a lot on comic books and animated shit and, like whatever, like fucking not my first path of interest, to be perfectly honest, but I watched the shit so I could do the
Brian's
show.
A big dork.
I fucking like doing it. I like doing the fucking show. You know what I mean? Like, I like, there's a million things that you could watch, of course, but like, I'm like, I'm a little bit hurt by what you just said, not in a weird way, but like honestly, like you say that you'd rather watch 1,000 other things other than this, and I wonder why you're hosting. Like I'm just
no. I don't mean your show.
No, she's talking about like all the remakes that Hollywood's shitting out instead of original content.
Oh, because like I don't watch it anymore. Like that's the thing. Like I have 2 film degrees, and I dedicated my life to this industry, right? Like I put so much effort into this industry, and I find myself in a point in my life where I'm at this like dichotomy where I'm like, I don't want to be part of this. I didn't ask to be part of something this vapid and this
Unfortunately, that's what the entertainment industry
but that's not, I'm not,
it's just a machine.
But YouTube isn't. It's this open sourced, free kind of like market where I can kind of do what I want.
But it's also a lot of bullshit.
But
there is a lot of bullshit because it's the internet. There's bullshit.
But that's the internet, yeah.
But there's a lot of relevant information too, and again, there are a lot of people.
About media literacy. You need to take some responsibility in media literacy.
I was researching a person that I had to double, and I had to dye my hair, and I dyed my hair, and I went to set, and my hair was 5 shades darker than her fucking hair. So I had to wash it out
that happens.
Like, incessantly because YouTube had 52 fake trailers for this show. And they were reshoots. So I assumed one trailer would be real. They were all the same trailers. They were all fake. And they were all not her. So like I have a hard time. Like there's the Batman, the what's it called? The one with Christian Bale.
Batman trailers,
the Dark Knight Returns one we watched the week.
That people think are real because they're on
like so many views.
They're not. But like you'll pull down someone's reel because it has a clip on something that's not licensed. Like fuck you, do your job. How dare you let me watch something that's completely fake and assume that it's real, and then you take something down that is real.
But so I can say that. But I can't say this to you, though.
If the WB official YouTube uploads something, that's a legit trailer.
Yeah.
But if, Craig6582 uploads something, like, obviously that's not going to be real.
And there are some you have to look for. There's a lot that have these traction, that have these.
Decode every fucking thing that they put on YouTube. Like, if I Google something and it's on you, like I look for something on YouTube, I would assume that it would be freaking, vetted.
It never, not always is though. There is vetted stuff, but not always.
Stand, you're going to see, Weekly World News and other bullshit made up storylines, and then you're going to have Times Magazine. So it's the same. You just got to check where you're getting your information from.
Yeah, the sources.
Okay, so on YouTube, I have to make sure that it's a person that is.
Well, you have to look at everything
on any
source.
Right, but if there's something that has millions of views or whatever, like you go to the person, they have
they got a lot of people.
Yeah, they scammed a lot of people.
It happens. They got a lot of people. There's a lot of these certain trailer houses, Two-Spirit, what you're talking about, that just do this specifically.
A lot of people in the chat want to know if anyone has seen Unfrosted. Has anyone seen Unfrosted?
I still haven't watched it.
Not yet.
So I need to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I hear it's all right. I know.
But understand though that like the Hollywood model that exists that they won't change, that they won't shift away from, Gen Z did not adopt. And so YouTube was what they adopted. And a whole generation of kids was raised by YouTube. And the next generation of kids that's coming up, they're all YouTubers too. And
I have no problem with YouTube, Lexi. Not at all.
No, I know.
YouTube is great. When you're looking for things that are like how to fucking change my oil in my car, or how to refinish a fucking chair, or how do I, cut whatever,
look at like somebody like
and make it look good. You know what I mean? Like those things are great. The informational shit is great. But like when you want to go into an entertainment aspect, and I'm not saying like shows like ours or, other things but when you are looking up a specific thing and they're running you bullshit, that's fucking annoying.
Well, that's just like, that's
life.
Yeah,
that's the internet. That's life. I think this is a great platform, though, overall. I think it's a great platform because there is opportunity for people like us to be out here to make a product and put it out there for people to check out, and we can just be creative. And that's the whole thing about this topic, too. It's like that people are doing this enough where it is competing with like Netflix. Netflix right now, they're saying that Amazon YouTube is doing better than Netflix. And within the next couple of years, it'll do even better.
I know that it's transitions into another story we're covering tonight, too. But think about it in this way, too. Logan Paul is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to an entertainment figure. he's not to any of us. Like a millennial up, we have no fucking idea who this guy is. I know who he is because I've been studying this stuff.
Do know who he is because
I mean, within reason.
He started off on the proto TikTok, the
Vine. He was a Viner.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, he's now like $1 billion property. Like genuinely, he's $1 billion property, and his brother, Jake Paul, is now about to do the fight on Netflix with
Mike Tyson.
And that guy built his entire career on being a villain. He's an absolute piece of shit. Like, he's garbage as a human being, and he's now able to transition himself into this fight, like, good or bad or whatever. It's an interesting dichotomy of watching YouTube stick together with Netflix, and it's showing. I think that it's going to make more money for Netflix because of the YouTube viewers that are going to come from it. And it's only going to be temporary.
YouTube, I think YouTube is the best platform for indie filmmakers to start their careers on these days. Because you can put a fully scripted film onto YouTube. That's what Lexi's working on. So,
and that's easily
Sabrina?
A process to get there too. This is a platform where you can make that happen, and I think that's amazing. And that's what I said too. I think this is a thing. I think that YouTube will only grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and there'll be better and better content. It's already amazing how what people can do on here, and it's an opportunity for people to have independent production companies, release TV shows, make stuff like that. And I think that's the route we're going.
Once those have success, larger companies do tend to pick them up.
Look at Mr. Beast. I don't even know
Mr. Beast.
That guy's insane. I hate him so much. But he's a big guy. He's $1 billion property in and of himself.
But there's been shows that have been picked up from YouTube.
I know we're having a very separate conversation, but the chat obviously doesn't give a fuck about what we're talking about because they're talking about Planet of the Apes. So I don't know if anyone saw that. I did not. But
we're talking about that on Wednesday. We'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Okay, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday, guys. I'm sorry, we don't mean to be ignoring you.
Yeah,
but I can tell you're very not interested in the conversation that we're having. So maybe we just move on. How about that?
I know it's doing very well. Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but they didn't like it. Neither of them liked it.
And they're doing they might do 5 more, by the way. So that's the plan. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. But this YouTube thing is crazy. And Lexi was saying,
watching the show right now found us somehow. They found us on YouTube. YouTube said, "Hey, you might like this," and now they're
check this out
every week.
Yeah, it's true. And we love it.
I don't have a problem with YouTube. I just don't like the way that they regulate things because I had to take my reel. I love you, YouTube. I had to take my reel off of it because I showed a scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that I acted in. Like, why would I not show the scene that I acted in? It
is complicated.
It's complicated,
but it's not complicated when you show a whole fucking movie on there. Like, it's just, I don't know how they do what they do or what the fucking situation is, but it's annoying.
The whole thing.
There's weird stuff, but we love you, YouTube. We love you.
Real shit up there. Brian,
keep us out.
They're not gonna fire you because I'm not in love with the fucking platform.
It's true. This is the whole thing, though, Sabrina. This is like how it's evolving and changing, and I think YouTube will be a television network. It already is, but it'll be even a bigger television network that will compete with everybody, like Netflix. That they're saying it's just going to go 150 million people.
For the record, I do not want to see YouTube become a network.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be its own network.
We need people to be able to upload freely and do whatever they do. Like, there's this one guy who we watch who makes 3 to 5 minute long videos of just making different types of sausages. Like his
Nuts.
let me try to make a sausage out of whatever this. It's awful. These are awful sausages. But it's just a random
It's
thing.
so good.
I love that there's a platform that this guy can just make sausages on.
He made a sausage of just pure citric acid. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, just disgusting. Like, so good.
But like, we need a platform in the modern day where people can just do dumb shit, but also upload art. It's insane. I love it.
Which is what this is.
With YouTube needing to cut down their ads, but I think we're currently in a position where we're about to hit an apocalypse. Where, I mean, look at what Amazon's trying to pull right now, and I know
Rachel's
that there are lawsuits.
I took my sweater off.
But, am I not mistaken in that there are lawsuits against Amazon right now for the amount of ads that they're trying to charge?
There's a lawsuit going on. There's a class action lawsuit against them for the ad stuff too.
And everybody wants to do pay versions of like with ads or without ads. And it's like, how about just a version that doesn't like have like stop with the ad shit? If you're making me pay for a service, then you don't have ads in the fucking service.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for a service that has ads in it.